Yet another System 6 MPU. This one I've configured for FirePower, and I'm doing this one for a friend. This one had some corrosion at this IC5. You see I labeled a bunch of the ICs as I was debugging this. Williams unfortunately didn't put those IC names on the silk screen. So I've abated the corrosion at this location. I put a staple in between the front side and the back side of the board to ensure that this chip receives ground. This is a big problem sometimes when the battery holder is removed. This through hole gets damaged and IC5 doesn't get ground. I've replaced the headers all the way around. The 40-pin header on the male side, this is one of my bench driver boards. I have replaced the green flipper ROMs and compiled the FirePower ROMs into a single combo ROM. As you can see here, I've added a super bright pink LED to indicate blanking and a label. Those two 1N4148s to the left of it are part of the modifications for FirePower single ROM, and these modifications can be looked up on the pin wiki. So I just want to put this through test. I've got Victor's awesome new display tester connected to it, and let's test. I just press the test button. Auto up in the correct position. Display is working beautifully. And the next test is lamp test. And all the lamps working properly. And the next test is coil test. And you'll see that coil 16 is lit at this point. That is the coin lockout coil, and it will be extinguished when this test goes past. And if I let it run long enough, you'll see that coil turn on again. So let's go ahead and do that. And it also tested the special solenoids just a second ago. And it's going to do it again right there. One of those was a little weak, it looked like to me. I'll have to look at that in real life. And I've got this little doodad tester here, if I can fish it out, to drive the special solenoids directly. 1, 2, 3. Let me let that pass. 4, 5, and I got myself a jumble of wires here. There's 6. That's the one that looked weak to me. Let's get right on that. Yeah, it's okay. And the last test is switch test. I've got my Pennytech tester. And I'll walk through. This is much better than what I was doing before, this little display test thingy. I like this. That was column 1. And here's row 1. Of course, these switch tests, the switch comes in on the driver board for system 3 through 7 games. And there's the last switch for FirePower. Here's my Pennytech tester. The switches come in through the driver board. I've already, or somebody else already put these 0-ohm jumpers in this location. This driver board had a bad 7406, so I've replaced it. So this MPU is working perfectly. I'm not going to install NVRAM on it. I'm going to leave that up to the customer. But here's what happens since I don't have a battery backup on here at this time. When you boot the game, it'll boot into audits, and a simple flicking of the power on and then off will boot it into regular tracked mode. So I hope you enjoy this MPU. It's rock solid for you, buddy.